Could this really be Alice's universal pattern? I mean, it sounds insane. But then again, Alice isn't exactly normal. You found it, didn't you, Regiman? Alice shouted, staring at me as I peered into the book. Well, come on. What is it? Alice said, beginning to reach for the book. For just a moment, on a reflex, I started to pull the book away, and Alice grew an ever-concerned expression on her face. I'm sorry, Alice, but honestly, I'm not sure if this is actually your sign, your universal pattern. It's just not clear. The fact that you said that we were destined to be together, soulmates, it got me thinking that maybe I could look up your universal pattern if you were right. Find the person that the dealer is meant to be with. And if you were correct, then it would be your pattern. But honestly, Alice, frankly, I'm a bit afraid that this might upset you. I did find the pattern that's supposed to be the one that falls in love with the dealer, and vice versa. But honestly, I don't know what to make of it. Well, Reginald, Alice said, looking distraught. Of course it's gonna be me, silly. It's not like Destiny's lying to me. And my forever fortunate on top of it. And even what the dealer took away from me. Pinstripe took away all my love for other people, remember? Only the person that I'm meant to be with, and my own children, are left. It has to be you, Reginald. There's just no other option. So whatever you're looking at, it has to be me. I took a deep breath to try to brace myself. I'm not sure how Alice is going to react to this one. Honestly, I'm not sure how to react to it myself. What does it even mean? Okay, Alice. It says here in the Book of the Dealer that the person meant to be with the dealer falls under a universal pattern known as Maiden of the Shattered Heart. Ooh, that sounds so romantic, Alice said, starting to smile again. Well, that's actually the complicated part, Alice. The Maiden of the Shattered Heart isn't one person. What? What are you talking about, Reginald? It says here that the Maiden of the Shattered Heart is someone who fell in love with the dealer in a past lifetime, before he was a dealer. People can be reborn if they re-enter the cycle of life and death, or at least that's what it says here. And when they are, they can be reborn as a different pattern, something else than they were originally. According to the book, the Maiden of the Shattered Heart had an overwhelming desire to be with a specific person, that she loved them more than anything, more than life itself. The idea that not being with them was a possibility, that they could simply enter a new life, become somebody else, love someone else, was unacceptable to them. They desired for their love to be eternal, and so that desire made their wish reality. They possess a unique soul. Normally, every time a person is born back into the cycle, everything about them changes. All of the events that constructed their life, that made them who they are, they all get washed away somehow. They lose all memory of their past lives and the events they're in, becoming a new person with a new pattern within the universe. But this makes falling in love with the same person next to impossible. Even if both your souls re-enter the cycle at the same time, the odds that you'll actually be born close enough to each other, come in contact with each other at all, are next to non-existent. And this was unacceptable to the Maiden of the Shattered Heart. As an entire person's life, their memory and essence can't exist and pass through the flow of life and death as a whole. The Maiden of the Shattered Heart takes an interesting approach. After dying and re-entering the cycle, the spirit world, so to say, a place where new souls are created, and even old souls go to be reborn back into the cycle of things, in order to force her way back into reality as an entire soul, and force her way back into the life of the person that she loved. She shatters the elements of her soul, breaking them into countless pieces, each piece being reborn as a different person here on Earth, each one its own confined little soul, building itself up to be a whole nother person. But every piece, every tiny element, every shattered piece that became a unique person, they all carry one thing in common. They are all infused with the love that the Maiden of the Shattered Heart had for the person that she wanted to be with. And in this way, the Maiden of the Shattered Heart can basically become any number of people within the life of the dealer. The Maiden of the Shattered Heart can be reborn as anyone. The people forged of these individual pieces have a natural attraction to the dealer, regardless of whether they understand it or not. The core of their soul, the part that forged who they are, the seed from which the tree grew, is infused with the love for the soul of the dealer. And so they gravitate to the dealer throughout their entire life. They can be anyone. The Maiden of the Shattered Heart, or the pieces that she scattered about, could emerge as any part of my life, and probably do. The pieces could emerge as the mother that gave birth to me, the friends that care for me, the women that love me. Even my own future children could be small elements, pieces of the maiden who shattered herself into the cycle of life. But that eventually one of these pieces will emerge, becoming the core, the true maiden. And that's the one that I fall in love with, at least according to the book. The book also references some sort of ordeal that the maiden has to go through in order to become the true maiden. I suppose it's not that much different from the whole becoming a true dealer thing, but that all leaves a lot of questions. Quite frankly, more and more difficult than I would like to have to answer with any amount of honesty. I looked over at Alice, concerned for how she might be reacting to this story. I mean, she did believe that I was destined to be with her. And as I looked over at Alice, I saw tears welling in her eyes as she tried to cover her mouth. And before I knew it, she jumped into the chair, leaping into my arms. "That is so beautiful," Alice said, crying into my new suit. "That proves it, Reginald. We were destined to be together. And now I have to go through an ordeal, just like you, to prove it. To prove that I'm meant to be with Reginald P. Worthington. I will. I know I will," Alice said, clenching to me tightly. "Just think about it, Reginald. Our love was so great it transcended death. Isn't that romantic? Even after I died, I still had to be with you," she said, beginning to smile somewhat. Honestly, she's taking this a lot better than I thought she would. I thought she might be a bit distraught at the idea of other women. For my sake, just in case she hasn't thought of it, I'll keep that to myself. I'd rather not see how she reacts to that one. But that also brings to mind what the heck the ordeal would be. How does someone become the true maiden of the Shattered Heart? If I were to base it only off Alice's personality, quite frankly, it's a terrifying thought process. Like something you'd read out of a horror story. Honestly, I'm not really sure if you'd categorize at least the thoughts crossing my mind at the moment as love.